If you want to know who your biggest threat is in a financial collapse, all one needs to do is look at Venezuela. It seems that the Venezuelan government has taken to stealing the livestock of farmers, among other things. Your government and the police and who God knows who else. Some say it would be foreign troops. Others say it would be the United Nations, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is their intent. Intent. This is a legal term. Intent. You see, in the court of law, you're supposed to have intent in order to have committed a crime. Intent is everything, supposedly. So, theoretically, if you got a good enough lawyer, they could argue your intent, right? And they would probably win because of my client did not intend to commit a crime. It's all about intent. And the intent of the ruling class is to kill each and every one of us. They like to use something called soft killing. Things that go unnoticed, like the medical industry. How is all that fentanyl getting onto the streets? Where's it all coming from? I mean, do you think a guy like me would have the capability of getting kilos upon kilo upon kilo of fentanyl to spread all over the street? And not that I would ever even consider taking fentanyl, but I just can't afford that. But what's the intent? I think the intent is obvious. You can see the outcome of their intent. Oh, man. So, back to Venezuela. Maybe that's a better angle. Yeah. Back to Venezuela. And how you can compare and contrast to our own situation here in the United States with our crops failing, with our cattle industry collapsing. What should you expect from Uncle Sam? Well, I'll tell you. It's all in the legislation. And the intent is pretty fucking clear. Take what you have. Like Negan. Shut that shit down. Like Negan. intent. And it's in their legislation. It's in the Affordable Care Act. It's in the manuals that outline how they will capture, process, and detain you. So, what are you going to do about it? I think my boy Bill that brought me in, I think he has the solution. What about you? Do you think old Bill there he's on to something maybe? Maybe, just maybe, dude is right. I think so. I think so. I mean, after all, their intent is clear. I mean, I've showed you people the legislation that tells you that the fucking Constitution doesn't exist, and yet people keep clinging to this dead piece of paper as if it's fucking written by God himself. And what is this piece of paper? A piece of paper that declares a group of people the rulers over other groups of people. That's what the Constitution is. I don't know. Am I patriotic? I would be insulted if I were to be called a fucking patriot. To be a patriot means you have your tongue all in law enforcement ass. To be a patriot means you have to go vote for whatever stupid fucking candidate happens to be chosen out of the blue for no good fucking reason whatsoever. Patriot. No. I'm not a patriot. You know who I'm in it for? The people who are willing to stand and fight. That's it. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. I got cotton mouth, man. Cotton mouth. So, Venezuela is a great example of what you should expect when a financial collapse hits the United States. I'm not going to read this article, but here we are at shtfplan.com. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Well, this comes from a person that was trapped there in Venezuela. So, the government will take your supplies. Venezuela is seizing cattle and inventory. Alright, this comes from J.D. Martinez. D. J.D. Martinez D. Well, that's unusual. But the first paragraph, something has been happening in Venezuela these last few days. The seizing of cattle, food, staples from production sites by the so-called authorities, right? They are not such, that are not such. In the past years, factories such as GM and Kimberly-Clark were seized by the government, and many other means of production have been taken from citizens. I recall certain auto industries that were bailed out and taken over by the government already. And I recall Monsanto having the farmers by the fucking balls, and they can't do shit because if they plant any other seed other than Monsanto, Monsanto will sue them into their fucking grave. I think it's already there, people. They already seize our land through eminent domain. And what's that? Asset forfeiture? You know, where they charge an inanimate object. I mean, come on. How are we any better than Venezuela? Anyone with eyes and ears can tell we're not. Because, again, our land is seized under the guise of, what was it? Progress by the government, eminent domain. But somehow, someway, you dumb motherfuckers continue to worship the ground Donald Trump walks on, that the boys in blue walk on. It really goes to show the state of things. And that's why I only care about those who would stand and fight. Hope you all have a good night. I've been up since 6 o'clock. It's 2:30. I think I'm going to go to bed. Kill the state before the state kills you.